Welcome back to another thematic list build. This one is for a craft world which is on the edge of extinction. A craft world which has embraced the grim reality. A craft world determined to return from the brink and reclaim their glory. A thematic list build for Craftworld Iyanden. The Eldar subfaction rules are classified as Craftworld attributes, and Iyanden's attribute is Stoic Endurance, allowing Iyanden units to add 1 to combat attrition tests, and reducing attacks which are AP-1 or -2 by 1. And compared to their subfaction rule from the previous Eldar Codex, it's certainly better. The morale benefit functions to a similar capacity, but the second perk is far more applicable, as it now provides a substantial AP reduction on all your units rather than just maintaining performance on units which degrade. When it comes to their dynamic army-wide system, there isn't that much to say. The Eldar have fate dice, which gives you a set of dice each round, which are used to change various dice rolls to a natural 6. It's serviceable enough, but it's isolated from each craftworld's thematic quirks, and so I don't see it having any merit with regards to theme. Regarding the thematic objectives of the list, this time there's only one: Ghost Warriors. While I find the Arcs of Omen detachment to be somewhat awkward for competitive play, I think they are excellent for thematic list builds, which a Wraith-heavy Iyanden list can certainly leverage. Now, let's head over to the list breakdown. The list is structured as an Arcs of Omen detachment specializing in elites, and I figured we'd start with the HQs. Serving as the warlord of this list is a Spirit Seer, an appropriate choice as the leader of a Wraith list, since their role is to guide the dead into Wraith constructs. The Spirit Seer isn't all that great in combat, but they are a 1/1 Psyker, which knows 1 power, and its abilities provided a 4-up invuln, and its Spirit Mark aura allows core Spirit Host units within 6 inches, that's our Wraith keyword, to reroll wound rolls of 1, which is pretty good. It's also worth noting Iyanden's stratagem. Guided Wraith Sight is specifically for Spirit Seers, allowing you to bolster a far-off Spirit Host unit with the Spirit Mark ability regardless of range. The power I've elected to use is the aptly named Ghostwalk, which is a pretty easy cast of 5, and grants a core character Iyanden unit within 12 inches +2 to their charge rolls. So, to supplement the combat output of our warlord, they've been given a trait and relic. The relic is the pistol Kurnos' Bow, which is an 18-inch 3-shot pistol with strength 5, which inflicts 1 mortal wound if it successfully wounds. And the warlord trait is Mark of the Incomparable Hunter, which increases the strength of ranged attacks by 1, and on modified wound rolls of 6 with ranged weapons inflicts a mortal wound in addition to the normal damage. Both of these in tandem gives the Seer a pretty sizable boost in lethality. The second HQ of the list is a Bone Singer. The Bone Singer is a Legends unit which carries that associated stigma. But you know what? I don't really care, as the Bone Singer is perfectly suited to the themes of a Wraith host army. While it's a 1/1 Psyker which only knows Smite, instead of casting any powers, it can repair D3 lost wounds to a vehicle or Wraith construct unit. 1 command point has been spent to give the Bone Singer the Iyanden relic, the Citronome of Iyanden, which allows them to buff a Spirit Host unit in the command phase with +1 attack, and if used on a Wraith Guard unit they gain battle focus, which is the Eldar ability to advance and fire their assault weapons as if they remain stationary, or move an additional d6 inches after shooting. Taking up 2 elite slots are 2 units of Wraith Blades, each with 5 models. The 225-point unit is equipped with the shields and axes, and the 200-point unit is taking Ghost Swords. These Wraith bodies have a pretty good defensive stat line: 3 wounds behind toughness 6, a 3+ armor save, damage -1 due to their Wraith Bone Form ability, and reducing AP -1 and 2 attacks by 1 thanks to their Iyanden attribute. They are both melee dedicated units with 3 attacks and a weapon skill of 3+. Where they differ is that the axes are hitting at strength 7 AP 3 dealing 2 damage, and with swords at strength 6 AP 3 damage 1, but they can make 2 extra attacks. Oh right, and the shields wielded by the Axe Gang grant them a 4-up invulnerable save. Offering these 2 units some protection are 2 Wave Serpents, each equipped with twin shuriken cannons and twin shuriken catapults, allowing each of these transports to provide about a squad's worth of anti-infantry firepower. Taking up our next elite slot is a 5-model unit of Wraith Guard, which are the shooting variant of Wraith Blades. This unit is equipped with D-Scythes, a 12-inch D6 shot blast weapon, which hits at strength 10, AP 4 dealing 1 damage, which also deals 1 mortal wound in addition to normal damage on wound rolls of 6. This Wraith Guard unit is a great candidate for the Webway Strike stratagem, allowing them to pop up where you need them and start blasting. And capping our 3 remaining elite slots are 3 Wraith Lords. Each have taken 2 Shuriken catapults as their support weapon option, which provides some fairly good small arms fire, along with their 4 strength 7 Wraithbone Fists, which ensure they have good threat versus elite infantry and melee. But they each have unique primary weapons, mostly for points reasons. The first at 140 points is equipped with 2 Bright Lances, making this one a great backline anti-armor weapons platform. The second at 115 points is the polar opposite. Wielding a Ghost Glaive, it wants to get up close and personal. The Ghost Glaive improves the Wraith Lord's combat potential by offering a split profile to better fight into armored units, going up to strength 9 AP 4 dealing D3 plus 3 damage, while also offering a profile which doubles its number of attacks, dropping AP and damage by 1 relative to its Wraithbone Fists. And the last Wraith Lord at 105 points is wielding a humble Scatter Laser. With our elite slots filled out, we can move on. Now, it wouldn't be a proper Wraith host list without a Warlock from beyond, a Wraith Seer. The Wraith Seer isn't all that different from the Wraith Lords. It has the same stat line, meaning it has that desirable movement and toughness value of 8. But its most unique quality is that it's a 1/1 Psyker which knows a runes of battle power, which I have gone with the valuable Protect and Jinx, which allows you to improve the save of your core units, which extends to Wraith Blades, Guard, and Lords, or worsen the armor save of an enemy unit. And finally, taking up our last 400 points is a Wraith Knight, equipped with a Scatter Shield and Titanic Ghost Glaive. It's 22 wounds behind toughness 8, 3 up armor save, and a 4 up invuln due to its Scatter Shield. It's still got the Wraithbone form, damage -1 ability, and also reduces the AP of attacks which are AP -1 and -2 because it has access to that Iyanden attribute. And offensively, the split profile of the Titanic Ghost Glaive gives it 5 strength 14 attacks at AP 4 with flat 6 damage, or 15 strength 8 attacks at AP 3 which deal 2 damage. And that's the list, clocking in at an even 2000 points, and starting with 3 command points. This is a hyper-elite Eldar army, both in practice with the extreme ratio of high toughness units, as you can see with this nifty chart, where the x-axis shows toughness, the y-axis the amount of wounds, with the color defining the armor save pertaining to each. And narratively, it's certainly elite due to the high-value nature of Wraith constructs. And as I mentioned in the outset, it definitely leverages the themes afforded by the Arcs of Omen detachment, due to providing the slot availability of both a Vanguard and Super Heavy Auxiliary detachment, without having to burn your command points for the sake of theme. Well, that's a wrap on this Craftworld Iyanden thematic list build. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons, Julius Maximus, as well as the others who help keep the dream alive. As is customary, comment below with what faction you would like to see focused on for future thematic list builds. Anyways, there are buttons for liking, sharing, and subscribing, so press the buttons you want to press, and I'll catch you in the next one.